Hey everybody, John here. Welcome back to Catbird Hill. So I can't tell you how badly I wanted to do a sawmill video today. I've got an amazing collection of beautiful logs, all different types, to mill up, and I've got people waiting for the lumber, but I've got other stuff I just have to deal with today. And that's why I called this video a little bit of everything. So what you just saw me doing I was loading up into the rafters here in our wood pavilion this pressure treated strapping, and this is probably it's 5/4 thick and probably about 1.5 inches wide, 8 feet long. And I was able to get all of that, probably maybe 20 pieces, 25 pieces for free. So a few miles from here, there is a very large fence company, and at the end of their driveway, they have these massive bins where they just put waste material from building fences, some maybe leftover fence material. It's well known in the area. A lot of people like me will frequent it and just see what they're throwing away. So all of that pressure treated strapping was in there this morning when I drove by, and I thought, oh my gosh, that is the perfect size to do accessory building for firewood storage, creating like maybe like a wall behind a pallet rack of strapping just to kind of hold the wood in. So that's probably $35 or $40 worth of pressure treated lumber there, and totally for free. So that was the first little bit of everything. Had to fuel up the Kubota L2501 this morning. We were getting a little low on fuel, and I need to fuel it up because we're going to be running the wood chipper, the PTO wood chipper today. If you recall, from probably a couple of weeks ago, I did a video where I removed and cleaned up a massive cherry branch that had split off of a tree, which we're going to be approaching here. It's the tree right here, okay? And you can see up top there, you can kind of see that. I hope you can see it. I'm sort of looking into the sun here, but I hope you can see that that split area there where the branch just fell off during a really bad windstorm. So I've bucked up what I could. I've got another log that's hidden back here that I'm going to be cutting up, and then I want to chip all of the branches and brush that came down from the removal and cleanup of that tree. Everything is off of my neighbor's property, thankfully, so we can work on chipping here. And one of the reasons we need to get chipping, number one, I made a promise to you guys I will not let brush piles accumulate. Don't look at those. But these are my most commonly used trails through this wooded area here. And we've had some real gully washer rainstorms in the last 2 weeks. And all of the chip that I had packed down here, over the last few years, essentially has washed away. You can see I'm exposing roots, and there's rock over here. So I really want to get this area beefed up in terms of building up some a nice wood chip bark base, just to protect the tree roots, give me a little more traction, reduce some of the mud. You can see I've had a lot of washout over here in these areas here. So I want to try to get all that taken care of today. So let's get our chainsaw gear on and buck up some cherry. Not bad. Nothing like working in tight quarters. Okay, so what have we done here today? Whew, what haven't we done? So we cleaned up the remaining cherry from the tree that split apart a few weeks ago. We stacked some pressure treated lumber back here. I'll show you the firewood rounds that we created from the cherry log. Got that all stacked up. We totally eliminated a massive pile of brush in about 20 minutes with the PTO chipper, the WoodMax chipper on the back of the tractor here. And then we ended up with a beautiful path. Well, part of a path. We have a lot left to do. But, you know, this stuff's great. You know, this is pretty much all of the cherry branches. There were some pine branches from another tree that came down, if you remember, about a month ago. So I still have a lot more to do up here, but I have at least 2 other brush piles, branch piles, that were the size that you saw over here. Now you can see this is all totally gone. It was all the brush I chipped today was covering those firewood rounds there. So I've got at least 2 more piles that big, if not bigger. And I'll show you the cherry that we ended up with. And here our wood thrush up here. There he is. So all of this here on the end, like this first 3-4 feet, is all the cherry. Actually more than I thought was there. So that'll be a nice little collection of cherry. As I'd said before, we rarely get any. You know, most of our cherry here on Catbird Hill in this part of southeastern Pennsylvania is very much like this. Kind of skinny, rarely ever straight. And we never get anything more than maybe 16, 18 inches in diameter. That's about the thickest it gets. There's a pretty big one back there. If you can, I'll try to zoom in. This one right here is probably about 18, 20 inches. That's unusual, and it's actually nice and straight. But, and you know, some of these are struggling back here, just competition for sunlight. I've got a multi-leadered one right here that's going to have to come down because that's almost half dead. So if you haven't imagined or haven't fathomed yet, based on the appearance of me, I'm a mess. I think my first shower is going to be with a garden hose before Beth lets me in the house. It is hot still here on Catbird Hill in southeastern Pennsylvania. About 88 degrees today. The humidity's probably 70%. So that dew point's up there, and I am just sweating like crazy, like a faucet. But I had to get out here and do this. I just, you know, I'm really trying to clean up this whole area here. These are some pine logs that I cut up from the pine tree that split apart a month ago. So I'm probably going to mill at least 1 or 2 of those. A lot of this stuff was kind of junk wood, odd pieces. It's a little rotted. I'm probably just going to clean this up and put it to the back of the property and let the insects have a heyday with it. But you know, it has been just brutally sticky here for the past, oh gosh, almost a month now. We really haven't had much more than about a day of relief after a heavy thunderstorm. Like I said earlier, we've had these gully washer thunderstorms. But I know it's hot. But there's another way that I know it's hot, another signal. Even the catbirds here on Catbird Hill are so hot they're a little confused. They actually think they're hummingbirds. Aren't those catbirds ridiculous? I actually was amazed that I caught that on video the other day, because normally they don't sit still that long. So I was really lucky to get one sitting there for 10 seconds or so. So that's actually a gray catbird. That's the bird for which we named the property. It was the very first bird that we identified 20 years ago when we moved in here. So I'm sitting under the shade of a big magnolia tree. Believe it or not, I'm still sweating, but I changed clothes and I'm trying to cool off here. I do want to share something with you, and I don't know how many of you have experienced this, but I've noticed over the years, particularly living out here in the country, that this time of the year, mid to late summer, when it's really hot and sticky and humid, as I shared with you earlier, it has been for about the past month. It seems like wasps and bees and hornets get really nasty this time of the year. Like, they become ultra aggressive. So yesterday I was in the back of the property clearing brush, and I looked down, and I was wearing a long pair of pants, but they were real light because it was just so hot, and I was just trying to stay as cool as I could. And I looked down on my right thigh, and I saw the dreaded bald-faced hornet. If those of you out there are familiar with that nasty hornet, it is just a little devil, and it stings terribly. And I looked at it on my thigh, and I had the weed whacker in my hand, and I just wasn't able to move fast enough, and it stung me right through my pants. So this is my leg today. I don't know if you can see this here, the redness. There's my left leg, normal. My right leg is getting fatter by the minute. I'll stand up here, and I don't know if you can see all the swelling in there, but that is what a bald-faced hornet will do, apparently, when you're weed whacking and brush clearing near its home. So, word of advice, watch out for the stinging insects this time of the year. I'm convinced they get just absolutely nasty the hotter it gets. Anyhow, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so. When you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell icon so you get notifications when we upload videos. Until next time, John here from Catbird Hill. Take care.